Diamond Realty.
Right now, my friends, available for your streaming or downloading pleasure is a podcast that Gina from Remax Diamond Realty Guam did with our Joaquin Concepcion. Really, really interesting stuff, Gina. So everybody go down and listen to that because it talks about estate planning. And one thing that really stuck out to me, you spent a considerable amount of time talking about power of attorney.
Yes, yes.
That's a phrase everybody uses at some point, but I would dare say not that many people really grasp exactly what it is and what the scope of that is.
You know, it's a tool that has so usually the power of attorneys are prepared by your attorney.
Makes sense.
For specific reasons, right? You need something. But the ones that we've come across that have been the most helpful is you can get a power of attorney for your family member, whether it's your parents, your child, whomever needs help. Mm-hmm. I've got a situation where a friend here in Guam is getting a power of attorney for her friend that lives, so it's not even a direct family member, they're just really close friends. Her friend lives in the States and we've got real estate here in Guam, so she prepared a power of attorney so she can sign in her friend's behalf. Her friend has medical issues right now, and running and getting documents signed and notarized has become a real burden for her. Mm-hmm. So we prepared the power of attorney. But specifically when I was talking to Ken, we were talking about me having a power of attorney maybe for my parents so I can act in their behalf. And I was sharing with him that very recently I'm working with a family who is actually, her father has been declared he cannot sign a power of attorney anymore. He does not have the ability to make decisions.
His faculties are
yes,
compromised.
It's compromised. So instead, the family, so her mom and herself, have decided they're going to sell the family home. And so I contacted an attorney, said, you need to go see an attorney. So they saw the attorney. The attorney said, listen, you could do a guardianship. Because at this point, you can't use a power of attorney. The power of attorney only works if the person can make decisions, right? Mm-hmm. The person can no longer make decisions. You need guardianship. So that's one way to address that issue. If the person can make decisions and you're able to communicate with that person, you can get a power of attorney, and that's fine. The other thing that came up is he said, you know, Gina, if this person is able to make decisions, but is not quite ready yet to turn over a power of attorney to someone, there is another mechanism, and it's called the springing durable power of attorney. So in that case,
I have never heard of this.
You know what? It was new to me, and this came up from John Visosky. And so he brought this up and as a means of serving his clients, right? He said, Gina, if you have a situation where somebody, they know that at some point they have to give decision making over to somebody else, but they don't want to do it right now. Like say my mother. If my mother had wanted to give me a springing durable power of attorney, it basically says, listen, this power of attorney only springs into action when I can no longer make decisions. So it's kind of like the middle of
it's a fancy way of saying conditional, basically.
Yeah, it's a conditional power of attorney, but it only goes into effect when my mother can no longer make decisions. So it's not guardianship.
Right.
She's acknowledging at some point I'm not going to be able to make decisions anymore. And this power of attorney only goes into effect when the doctor has said this person cannot make decisions anymore.
Does this work both ways though? Because I can see, okay, so say you have like maybe say a 30-year-old parent, a single mom, right? And she's got like an 11-year-old child. Say the mom, just tragic accident, something like that, she becomes incapacitated or she gets ill or something like that. The 11-year-old obviously is unable to make big legal decisions, especially with property or bank accounts and everything like that. So the mom would not have the proper wherewithal to make decisions, but the child is, also not.
A minor cannot make decisions.
But it sounds like this conditional power of attorney would be like.
The conditional power of attorney is applicable. It kicks in.
And I hate to use that phrase.
It kicks in when the mom is unable to make decisions anymore. But I'm assuming, and this is a legal question, that an attorney would say it has to go to an adult. You cannot appoint a minor to make decisions for in those cases.
That's why I was saying, can it also work that way? Say when the minor reaches either 16 or 18 or 21 or some predetermined age.
I'm assuming it has to be a legal person who's going to get the power of attorney.
Right.
So, and that's a long time period. I know when I was speaking to John, he says it goes into action later. I don't know how much time or that you have to wait for the person to reach adulthood. I think now that's too complicated, but I'm just talking about a person wanting to give it to an adult person.
Because you could be a full-on 21-year-old and still be incredibly immature.
So that's a different question altogether.
That was me. That was me in college.
Okay, that's a different issue.
Well, you did spend, like as I said, a big chunk of time talking about that and all the big things. So we want to invite everybody to go check out the KUAM Podcast Network. It's on SoundCloud.com/KUAM News. Gina has a fantastic podcast that she did for us. Thank you so much for doing that, by the way.
No problem.
Incredibly informative. So make sure everybody go there, stream that, download it, share it with all your friends. Get his really good information. We'll see you guys next time.
Closed captioning is brought to you by IT&E. Explore your world. This primetime lineup is